So
Oh, I know. I mean,
she's like, but just
I'll
the
tell you.
audacity to, just to throw something like that.
I don't know. I will say this: if all you gotta do is chuck a drink at me and I drink it, and that's my audition for the Kimmel show, start lobbing Heinekens, folks.
Exactly.
Just grab a fucking steam whistle and chuck it. If you wing me, even better.
Even better. Exactly.
Because then I got a tag.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. This is season 4 of Shooting the Breeze. This week, my guest is comic Todd Van Allen. Todd is Ottawa-based. He's the host of the show Write 'em Up, as well as host of the podcast Comedy Above the Pub. So welcome, Todd.
It is a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much for talking to me today.
Uh-huh.
We actually got to perform live.
Finally.
After all these years.
We have been in the community, and it was like pre-pandemic. Obviously, like I didn't live here yet, right. So unless you were in Toronto, forget it. And I don't think of all the times that I ever whenever I came to Ottawa and performed here that we were on the same show. So that didn't work.
I was at shows. I went and saw you perform. Mm-hmm. We've met in person.
Right. But we're not strangers.
Right.
This isn't. Who is this?
Who are you?
Who? Simone Holder. I can't find one other celebrity that I could conflate with that. I'm sitting there going, let's go with the Simone route. It's like, how many celebrity Simones are there? No. Okay, let's go back to Holder. No, I ain't got nothing. I got nothing. At least mine, I got like Todd Van Halen or something. Like, and that's, or the best butchering of my name I ever got was, "Hi, I'm Todd Van Allen," and they went, "Tom Banana."
What?
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
That's insane.
My family were part of the Chiquita family, and
the Chiquitas of Boston.
Yes, the Chiquitas of Boston. Are you the Chiquitas of the Boston Chiquitas? No, we're from Waltham. You can tell by my thick Bostonian accent. So no, it was like they've been trying to keep us apart.
Yeah, because on purpose.
Because whenever I would show up, you would either I think I'll just go hang out at Absolute, and like as soon as I get there, you're just getting off stage. I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me! Like, how is this? So we've been on online shows before, yes. And the internet didn't explode, and we did the brewery show on Thursday at Conspiracy Theory, and again, I say, one of the worst names currently for a brewery. Great guy. Yeah. Great guy. I ended up talking with him afterwards, and it turns out he grew up in a house that is literally 80 feet from where my uncle lives now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was so dumb. Like, we started just like, okay, so where in Kempville are your family from? And it's like, and where do you live? And then it's like, this is my uncle's address. He's like, God damn it. And he goes like, well, there's my house. I'm like, oh.
He's like, I can see your uncle's house in the distance.
Right, exactly. What is he doing? Thankfully, he's not one of those uncles. He used his own insurance. He's fine. Yeah. So no, we did a show together, and the world is great.
Yeah.
So
finally. Because I did your Write 'em Up show.
Yes.
Online, which was a hoot. Because I got a couple of tags for a few jokes from that show.
Exactly. Yes. Like,
it was pretty awesome. Yeah.
Once comics get past the sting of the roasts, they go, actually, I could use it.
Exactly.
And that's the rule. Like, if there's a burn on stage, because none of the writers are ever going to use it. They're never going to use the amount of context that would need to be built would just cripple that premise. So like the least I can do to a comic that's getting berated by a team of writers is like, absolutely, you can use that. And there have been. You're not the only one. Like, there have been a ton of comics that come, can I use that? And it's like, yes, it's yours. You were the butt of the joke, so take it.
Yeah, because I think I asked you. I was like, there are a couple of things here. Can I use this?
Yes.
Am I allowed to use this? And you're like, yes, go ahead.
Right.
It's yours.
It's like when you come up with a tag for someone, right? And it's always like iffy, like whether you want to give the tag or not, because you don't
Yeah.
know if people are kind of eat. Like I will take anything, and then it's like my thinking is you take everything, and then if you like it, you go thank you, and you use it, and if not, you just it's like getting a gift from your mom, right? You just like oh thank you. And then you go, I don't even know what this is.
Just put it
I
aside. Yeah,
just wait
exactly.
for them to leave, and then like my mom bought me cowboy boots once.
And that's so personal.
Right.
I
I
know they're
was
boots, but they're personal.
they're right. And I was living in Toronto at the time.
It's not like you were in Texas,
No, it was not like it was
Idaho.
here. Like there's country here, right? And I didn't because they went to Texas and they got my brother cowboy boots. He lives in Alberta. That's totally cool. Totally cool. I show up at Ossington subway station in cowboy boots. What the hell is
They
going to
didn't
happen?
let you in.
No,
They're like,
that's
no.
that way, Tex. Get on your horse and ride it. And she was, I like, it was one of the gifts where I just went, what possible reason do you think? Like, because I'm normally great about these things, but like, I am not into country culture. I don't like country music. I am like, I'm not like, I appreciate the cowboy work ethic, and I appreciate what they contribute to society. I get it. I'm just not part of that culture, and there's certainly, as I've come to late, some philosophical and political differences that I have with that particular community. So I'm like, I don't need it. And and she just showed up with these cowboy boots, and I was like, what made you think that I would want like I broke in front of her. I was like, why was this? Like I was nice about it. It's like, oh, what made you think I wanted these? Like that sort of
Yeah.
kind of framed it that way. And she's like, well, you do shows in Alberta, and I thought you'd like them for out there. And I went, yes, the open-minded people of Alberta always love it when a poser comes to town, right? Like
It's who doesn't love a poser?
exactly. Like they don't get enough of those jackasses at Stampede, like, with Pierre Polivier
Exactly.
wearing like a Ponderosa hat and then like a belt buckle that fits him about the size of a pie plate. And then, yeah, so I'm not up on it. I'm not up on it. So, and
That's too funny.
I'm so, see, my wife likes country music, and that's fine. I mean, let her do it. I'm just, I don't like the style of the music. Do you like country?
Not really. Like I
No.
can appreciate it, and there are some songs that I like, but in
Sure.
general, it's not something I listen to on a regular basis.
I have never like whenever it's been on, and I grew up in a small town Ontario, so there was always an aspect of that. My
Yeah, I don't
grandfather was
hate
a,
it. That's the thing. I
yeah,
don't
okay.
hate it. Yeah.
See, my grandfather was a farmer, and so he'd always have it on in the background. And I grew up around it, and I just dislike it. I just like I wouldn't say I hate it. It's not mine. Like when a country artist comes to Ottawa and my wife likes it, she knows to ask someone else. In the same way that when Skinny Puppy comes to town, I go, "This is not you. This is all me,"
Mhm.
and that's fine. So I don't. I'm not up on it. In fact, I have discovered since moving here, because there is more country music here than there ever was in Toronto, I am listening to way more hip hop right now
Okay.
than anything. Because there's a whole bunch of hip hop that I have missed over the course. And so I can just put it on and go, this is all new to me. So let's just get this into the ear holes. And because that's a thing I can appreciate. And the other one is like, because everyone in a country song is working hard labored jobs, and then they get home and they spend their paycheck on the weekend, and then on a Sunday they're staring at a whiskey bottle wondering why she left. And in hip hop there are just guys sitting on stacks of money getting blown. So who do you want to aspire to? That's all I'm saying. So I prefer Lil Wayne. That's all I'm saying. That's it. Though, do you like Lil Wayne at all?
I'm not really into hip
Okay.
hop. Like
Okay.
I can appreciate it, but
Okay.
yeah.
Because I was flipping through some photos, just like, I don't know that I've ever seen a picture of the guy. So I just like, was scrolling through pictures. And then
He's
there's a
covered in
picture.
tattoos.
Oh, yeah, he's got tons of face tattoos. And then there's a picture with him standing beside Trump. And I went, what?
Yeah. Apparently he's a big Trump supporter.
Yeah. So I was like, well, fuck, that goes off my iPhone now. Jesus. I can't even have that nice thing.
And Kanye.
And fuck me, God. Like, you're driving me back to Public Enemy, which isn't a problem. I love Chuck D. But I was like, maybe I can go outside my little envelope of hip hop. But like, no, apparently.
But no, apparently not.
Just Eric B. Rakim, KRS-One, and Public Enemy. That's all I can listen to now. Why not Drake? I'm not Canadian enough, apparently. That's why.
Oh.
So, yes. So it was nice having you on Write 'em Up. And when we do it live, I'm trying to find a place to do it live here in in Ottawa. And we will have you back for sure.
Oh, that would be awesome.
So you can do it live. So for the listener who doesn't know, this dumb little show of mine that's going into its 7th year in April.
7, wow.
7 years. So this will be the 7th anniversary if I can pull this off. I think I want to have the anniversary. I want to kind of do 2 shows, like one here and one in Toronto, and kind of play it off that way. Right. The premise is I host a comedy show. I have 5 comics come to the stage and do comedy, and that should be enough. But it never is for people. So while the comics are performing, I have a team of writers writing roast jokes about everything that the comic does. Comic goes away, I grab the roast jokes and I read them out verbatim, providing anonymity and emotional distance for the writers. And it's great. I love the show. It's just one of the funnest things on the planet. And you got to witness the weirdness of because we weren't in the same room during the pandemic.
It was over Zoom. Yeah, we did it.
So it was over Zoom. So everyone was texting me their roasts.
That's true. Yeah, because he couldn't put it in the chat because then we all see it.
Yeah, right, exactly. So it was like, okay, so here it is. And it just looks like the rudest thing. It's like, this asshole host is on his phone half the show. Like, what? So... how did you enjoy the Zoom? Like, were you put off by it? Did you like Zoom shows? Because I like them.
Shows? I like them too.
Yeah.
I like them too. And I always think that because I was so new when the pandemic hit, I think I'd been maybe 10 sets in, like about 5 or 6 months in, that I was like, okay, well, I don't want to lose this momentum. And this is, right. I love doing this. So I pivoted right away and just joined all kinds of groups and did, oh my God, maybe over the course of the entire pandemic, say from 2020 until maybe early 2022, I've probably done 150 Zoom shows at least.
And sorry, how much comedy had you done pre-pandemic?
I started September of 19.
Okay.
So God. I was in about 6 months, and I had done maybe by that point, maybe about 8 to 10 shows. 8 to 10 shows at that point. Yeah. Yeah, I was brand new. Like, wow. Yeah.
Because then that helped. Because
it did help me.
Because I would never have guessed you had only done it that long. So like, yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, no, your act is fantastic. I mean, like it's so great. I would never have guessed that at all. But there is right now a generation of comics that are just now finally getting actual stage time in front of people. Yeah, it's so bizarre.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah. And there's also a group that, 35 people is full for them, because say they got started when things started opening up, but there was still heavy restrictions.
Yes.
So they were behind plexiglass, 12 people in the audience.
Right.
So yeah, it's weird to have that.
I remember when I started talking with the club, and because my wife, we were walking the dog one day and it was during the pandemic and things were starting to open, and she just went, "So you going back?" And I was like, "Why do you make that sound like a dare?" What? So I called the club and was like, "Hey, what's going on?" They gave me sort of all the safety precautions that they go through, which sounded great. And I remember like that kind of that first set just being so panicked of like, okay, I'm gonna take off the mask, and as soon as I did, like putting it back on, it's like,
Yeah,
oh my
yeah,
god, I've
yeah.
got it on, I got on backwards, so now
Yeah.
all the germs are in my face, and like, it's like
I'm
we were
smearing them on my face.
exactly, we were so dumb, but like. And like I remember talking to the guys, like, so how are the like, what is it like? He goes, well, we sold out last night, and there was a pause, and went, there's only 50 people.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
because everyone was spread out, it's like, and it
Mhm.
just felt so weird,
It did. It
right?
really did. It really did. Like I remember, I think the first live show I did was at Absolute Comedy in Kingston.
Right.
That was the first live show, like
Mm-hmm.
that must have been July. And I'd never been to that club. I'd never played that club before.
Right.
And yeah, behind the plexiglass, and you can't hear
Right.
properly. You see your reflection in the glass,
Yep.
and then like the 35 people
Mm-hmm.
spread out. You don't, it's not like
Yes.
what we're used to where right up at the stage where if you
Exactly.
move a little suddenly, you kick someone in the head.
Mm-hmm.
Just, there was the distance from the stage plus spread out. And
Right.
it was bizarre. It
Yeah.
was really bizarre because I know I couldn't hear properly. So I'd
Mm-hmm.
do my thing and I'd be like, okay, I didn't do very well because nobody laughed. So
Right.
I didn't hear anything. But then if you, like, I record all my sets.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so it was just on the playback. It was like, oh, okay, they did laugh. Okay,
Yes.
cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Just if Zoom shows taught us anything, just barrel through. Just like, okay,
Yes.
on to the next one. On to the next
Yes.
one. Like, yeah, it was kind of like I liked that the fact that it wasn't like full on screens gone, that whole thing, like literally, and it was just like that little tactile thing of like having a screen, like a plexiglass screen in front of you, kind of helped decompress you a little bit so you didn't get the bends, when you came in. It was like, okay, so we'll we'll get them used to it. And it's like, and it's true, like you did see sort of like your reflection, not unlike how we see ourselves
Right.
on the screens here, same sort of deal, but like it was necessary, obviously, for where we were, and we can look back and go, were we overreacting? It depends upon who you ask. I think for everyone's sense and state of mind, if nothing else, it made that sense where it's like we're taking a chance here because it's still active, and I don't think there was a vaccine yet at that point, so we're really, really taking a chance.
Yeah, exactly. The vaccine didn't come till the following year,
right?
Till 2021.
Mm-hmm. And it was nice seeing like all those protocols and like and I don't know about you, but I always had like, because when I heard like the incubation period was for the most part a maximum of around 5 days. It would sometimes go to 7, but it was usually about 5 days. And I don't know if you were like me, where like I would say to my wife, I'm going to groceries, I'm going to go get them, I'm going to go get groceries, and I'd go to the grocery store. And I would come back, and in my head, I would set the chess clock that said, okay, start count now.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I'm not sick by Thursday, I'm probably good.
Yeah.
And then next time I would go out, it's like, okay, let's do it again. Like, let's do that.
Yeah, I did that too. Or you'd question, do I really need to go to the LCBO? It's like, yes, I do.
And that answer was always yes.
And I remember at the beginning, like I'd say like April, March to about May, where there were lineups everywhere.
Yes.
Like you couldn't just go to the store. Like you had to factor in that you might be outside waiting for like half an hour to 45 minutes.
Right.
To get into the store, sort of thing. Like that was, I remember having to factor that in. That it's not just like, oh, go pop in, pop out.
Right.
Because the limits in the store too.
So when we were selling our house in Toronto to come here, we actually had started the process before the pandemic, and then the pandemic hit. Oh. So there was, for 2 weeks, we weren't, there was no open house for sure. Right. But we would get viewings, and we would have to leave, and we have a dog. Oh. And so the stagers came in, and everyone was masked up as they were staging the house and stuff like that. And have you ever had to have a staged house or anything like that?
No.
Okay. It is the most.
I have had friends who've done it, and it's very stressful.
It's not great.
Yeah.
So they show up with stuff that is not yours. And the stuff that you like, they go, well, we
Yeah,
can't have
get
that
rid of
in
that.
view. I'm like,
Yes. Your stuff sucks.
right. Fuck you. So it's like, do you want this house to sell or not? Fine, fine, okay. So then we everything's stay, and they've got like really nice things, and like everything looks like someone just walked into an IKEA showroom. This is like right, like to the point where I had to take pictures of our bed and our couches so I knew what order the pillows went in.
Oh.
Right. And then, of course, like the dog is shedding everywhere, so we got to vacuum before everything comes in. And then we would leave, and then as soon as people were gone, we would come back in, and then we would wipe down everything, keep a mask on. We would wipe down everything in lemon wipes. It's like any doorknob, anything. It's like,
Yes.
handles of toothbrushes. Who the fuck knows what they were doing? It's like,
Exactly.
whatever, right?
You're not there to witness.
No.
Exactly.
So, but everything was shut down, so we couldn't go anywhere. And to your point of the lineups, like I remember one day we the dog, we actually dropped it. We had like 3 viewings in one day or something like that. They were all kind of back to back. So we just dumped the dog off at like a daycare and just said, okay, he's taken care of. So we don't need to worry about that. I said, what do you want to do? It's like, I don't know, want to go get lunch. So we got takeout Burger's Priest. And
Delicious.
with the thought, fuck, I'm so glad they're in Ottawa.
I know.
Oh, I'm so glad.
So good.
So so we would just, so we're eating burgers, and we're eating in the Loblaws parking lot.
Yeah, in the car.
In the car.
Because it's the only place you could go.
Right. And so we're like, well, we got half an hour. Might as well go grocery shopping. And I get out of the car and I see this lineup around that wasn't there when we started. When we started for lunch, it wasn't there. And now it's around the parking lot. We're like, well, I guess that's fucked. So you want to make out or something? You want to... Yeah, it was the worst. That was my hot take. The pandemic, it was the worst.
It was the worst.
It was the worst. 1 star, do not recommend.
But I think like in terms of comedy, like I think doing shows on Zoom taught me things that I wouldn't have learned.
Right.
I don't think I would have learned otherwise, and it's really helped me. I don't think I'd be where I am now without that, because it taught me to be comfortable with pauses.
Yes.
Silence, because you're on a Zoom show. Some people are watching.
Yeah.
Some people are, they have their cameras off, their camera and their sound off. So you don't know what they're doing. They could be watching. They'd be doing the dishes. They could be doing God knows what.
Yeah.
And there's no immediate reaction. There's no immediate reaction like when you're doing, like when you're live. So it taught me to get comfortable with that,
There's a great, one of the best compliments I have heard comics get. I have gotten this one myself, and it sounds like an insult, but it's actually a pretty high compliment, is you know how to handle the silence, right? And it sounds like a burn. It sounds like a huge burn. Sounds like a huge burn. And the fact is like, if you're doing longer setups and doing that, you're able to engage an audience and know that you don't need to fill that gap with a joke, like, because you can have a thing like the area under the graph needs to be huge. Like, if you're going to have a long setup, the payoff better be big, as opposed to going across the top and then doing it like that. So it's got to be massive. But yeah, Zoom kind of taught us that, which is kind of nice. And then the first shows back taught us how to edit all that bullshit. Like, that's like, oh, no one's fucking laughing at this. I got to fix it. That's
exactly.
Yeah.
This really doesn't work.
You get a very nice, comfortable place. So, oh, people are really, really into my point of view. And then you get to a club and just like, okay, 2 laughs in 8 minutes. Not great.
Exactly. It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
But I also found, like, if you got them laughing on Zoom,
yes,
that you knew it would most likely kill in person.
Yes.
If you got them engaged and reacting in Zoom, if you heard the laughter in Zoom, then you're on the right path, and it'll do well.
Because they're not all together. They're 2 people or 1 person separate. So when you got 5 or 6, it actually kind of created that vibe within the room, which you get in a cramped comedy
Yes.
club, which is like a lot of people laughing, and so they can hear people laughing. Is like, so like
Yeah.
whenever I did a Zoom show, when I did Write 'em Up, I would make sure that all the acts and the writers had their mics on,
Yes.
so that we could provide canned laughter for the audience, and
Right.
you could see the reactions like in the chat, because that was the only way that they could interact with us
Mhm.
was in the chat, and you
Right.
could see them actually go like, LOL, LOL. So like like the thing and the cryly emoji.
Yeah. Yeah. With the on the side.
Yes, that I can never get to work. Uh, corporates, by the way, were great for these. Did you do any?
I did a few,
Yeah.
yes. I did a few.
First of all, you're not dreading the drive there and the drive back where you know you're
Exactly.
going to bomb. You
Just,
go downstairs,
yeah,
turn on the
exactly.
camera.
12 feet.
Yep, that's it. And then you're done. And all their names are right here. So crowd work became amazing,
'Cause
right?
had all the
And
names.
you can make shit. It's like, oh, look at Brian's background there. Look at that. Do the dishes, Kevin. How about that? And I remember there was one show I was doing. It was a corporate, and you know how corporates are. How like when business works, you will always have, and every office has this. They have the people who will engage in the thing, who want to do this. Oh, we're going to do this, but there's usually like one person who's always like the overworked office manager or something like that, who no matter what it is always working. So like back in the day, they would be at the show, but they'd be on their BlackBerry because they have to deal with stuff. Or it's like, oh, and they have to excuse themselves and they go take a call. And there was this woman. This is how she was positioned. Okay, so she was the camera was kind of there, and she was like, you could see her hands going kind of like that, right, through the entire show. And so everyone's like, I'm just doing a little bit of crowd work, and I went, oh, look at that, Lori's they're making Lori work today, isn't that good? And she went like that.
Like, fuck you.
Yeah, that was the best. Fuck
I'm forced
you
to be here.
Yeah,
I have work to do.
yeah. I got the check ready for you, right? Like, that. So
That's too funny.
yeah, but I love those. Like, I had like 2 in one day. Like, I literally like finished one at 3:30 and hopped on the next one.
Oh wow.
And it was amazing. It's just like click, click, boom. You got the set list tape there, so you don't lose your spot or anything. And
Yeah.
it was just
that was a cool thing of having you could post your setup and nobody's the wiser.
Yep. My audition I'm doing today, guess where I'm taping the lines?
Exactly. Right there. Yeah, and you put it in a location where you're not going like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the tell.
Yeah, exactly. That it's like near
when
the
shall we
camera.
three meet again? In thunder,
Yeah.
lightning, or in rain?
It's true.
Every time I get an audition, I am just shocked that there's you want this.
I would like to do it. I would
Yeah.
like to do it. Like I did, what was it? A few months ago, there was a call on Facebook
Mhm.
for, because I don't have any acting experience.
Right.
And so they wanted people that didn't have experience, or they said it was okay if
Right.
you didn't have experience. So I was like, all right. So I emailed the person, and they selected me. They chose me, and they said that because the fact that I was a comic, they wanted, I guess, I don't know, I can't remember what she said, but the fact that I was a comic, that was
That makes
what,
sense. Yep.
that's what I
So when
guess.
do you audition / shoot? Like, when's this happening?
No, I did this a few months ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a few months ago. I think
How did it
like in the
go?
fall. It was fun. It was
Yeah.
like a corporate video, like a company
Oh,
video
yeah.
about like the supply chain of
Okay.
widgets or something. And I was like the supervisor, so I had no lines.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to walk in. There were 3 of us. I walked in and look over someone's shoulder and go,
Mm-hmm.
and then high
That's
five. But it took hours.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
I'm sure the clip was maybe like
Mm-hmm.
20 seconds, 30 seconds, but it took hours. It took like 2 hours to do.
The first work you ever get is always SOC, silent on camera, which is where you're doing this acting
Yes.
just on it. And the first commercial I ever did was a Rogers commercial, silent on camera, where I'm like kind of like you, except I'm like I'm a member of a team, and we're like designing something, like, you know, it's some vague product,
Yeah.
but Rogers is helping us get through it. And so I, being the comic, because it's silent on camera, when we start, you know, kind of role playing, because they're not going to hear dialogue or anything like that. And I would just go, "You guys smell wet cat," and they're like, but they're being very earnest, like, "Oh yes, I think we can run the report off of this phone," and I think that's. And I went, "Oh shit, right, okay, you guys are not."
You guys are.
I'm fucking around, and I apologize. So like, yeah, but it was that experience where I got to see two things that some people in their entire acting careers never see, and I saw both of these on the same day. I saw a director blow up at the main actor.
Oh, really?
Blew up at her.
Oh no!
Like just
lost it.
Like flame, like Christian Bale style meltdown.
Oh shit! What happened? Like,
so the shot was, and you can picture it. So the woman in the commercial is giving a presentation in one of the scenes. She's giving a presentation, and there's a map with tacks in the different cities of the thing. So the shot was like this, okay, with the tacks in the map like this. So they're filming this way, and they want her hand to gesture and kind of come into focus and out of focus and point at the different tacks that are there, right? Well, apparently she wasn't gesturing the right way. Of all the fucking things, and no one has a line, by the way. This is all narrated later, so like no one has a scripted line. So everyone's off book. We're just pretending to do shit. That's all we're doing. So she's not pretending right.
She's pretending all wrong.
She's pretending completely.
Using that imagination, like
not. It's like, and like literally, the hand shot is here. So like she's staying in frame. And we're watching because we can see the screens, and every other actor on the thing, and all the extras and the human background. What do they call that? Background actors.
Yeah.
Everyone's looking at the screens, going, I don't know what the fucking problem is here. Like it looks good. And he's like, nope, you're still not doing it. Nope. He's like, this is not this is taking fucking forever. Like he's just losing his shit on the fact that she's not moving her hand.
She should have done.
Yeah, right? Like that was.
How's that?
Every single one of us are like, can you believe this fucking asshole? So they finally cut, or like he gets the shot and goes, okay, fine, good enough, cut. And so she leaves set, and goes away. And so I see everyone kind of huddled around, kind of commiserating with her, and so I come in. It's like, and she's like, "Are you fine?" It's like, "Are you sure you're okay?" It's like that was out of order, and like other actors going, "I have been doing this for 12 years. I have never seen anyone like that. That is so unprofessional and so irresponsible of him." And it's like everyone was on board, and so she was okay. She looked up at me, and I said, "Are you?" Seriously, you're good, right? She's like, yeah, I'm good. It's like, this is my first time ever. Does this happen a lot?
Yeah, exactly. How common is this?
She's like, nope, it's a first for me too. I went, okay, well then we're both in the same boat. Yeah. I feel I'm so sorry for you. I apologize on men's behalf. So now I'm, because I'm slightly even older than the director. I'm like, not all men are jerks. Okay. I'm just letting you know and that's hashtag not all men. That's how we started it. Came with an emotional hug. That's how and then it got railroaded. So that was the first thing I saw. And then the second thing, now I've been on enough, like I've done a lot of voice work up to this point. And whenever you're doing any sort of acting thing ever, know that when your call time is whatever it is, and they say, oh, you'll be out by this, it's never that. It never is. Everything runs late. Everything's cool. So my wife and she will know. It's like, oh, my call time's this time. I got to be here for that. And she goes, oh, so I won't see you until dinner. It's like, you might. You might see me for dinner. Help yourself. Like, I don't know. I will text you as soon as I'm out of the thing, and then we can figure out from there. But she knows. Like, she was on set when I was on the Beaverton, waiting for me because she had friends in Hamilton, and she was like, well, I got fucking nothing to do in Hamilton because I got to hang out near him because he might get released at some point.
Right.
And we went 3-4 hours over.
Oh my goodness.
You know, it's just,
Like,
it's
way
it's
over.
not uncommon because shit happens and they have to move things around. And it's
Right.
like, oh, we can't schedule this yet. Okay, so let's do this now. Cause like they're trying to make their day and maybe move chunks of other days in there. If they can't do one thing here, then they want to do something else. Or they want to add in a scene like, hey, what if we did this? We have time. But it's whatever it is. So my job as an actor is to just show up and go, great.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
all
here.
you need to do. Like I've like as soon as I show up on set, first thing I say is, hi, where can I stand where I'm not in your way? And they're like, right over here. So like, because normally the first people you see are tech crew, right?
Mhm.
And so I
They're setting
greet,
stuff up.
they're setting stuff up or they're gathering cables or like whatever. And I go, hey guys, where can I stand? I'm one of the actors. Where can I stand where I'm not in your way? And they're like, oh, just, you know, go over there, look for the person with the ball cap. I'm like, okay, fine. So then I find the person, and then they'll move you right over to where you need to be, and everything's cool. And just be friendly to them and go again. It's like when you see them starting to work on stuff, it's like, can I get out of your way? It's like, okay, yep, fine, no worries. Like, just do the right things. And the biggest rule that will get you the most work ever, and I do this rule and I still don't work. I don't know why that is don't be an asshole. Like like when part of the auditioning process is they want to see is like, is this guy going to be a prick? You know,
Yeah,
is
is this somebody
is,
we want
right.
around for like 6 hours a day or whatever? Yeah.
Is she going to be horrible, or are they going to be a pain in the ass? Like whatever it is, right? So they're just like, they want to know that we're going to be trapped together for X amount of time. We want to know that you're going to be cool and we can get this shit done because we got shit to do. And so that's always like where I'm coming in. It's like, hey, what can I do? How can I help? It's like, whatever. That's when I found out that, and this might have happened with you, that when actors are on set, it's not an ego trip for them to have someone go get them something. It's the crew wanting to make sure that Matt Damon is standing where he needs to be and he's not fucking off for a sandwich.
Off somewhere
right. Because I would say is like, they would come over, Mr. Van Allen, do you need it? First of all, Mr. Van Allen, who the fuck's this guy? And so it's like, do you need anything? And it's like, you know what? I'll just go get a sandwich. We will get that for you. What would you like? And it's like, no, I can get it. Mr. Van Allen, let us get that for you. It's like, ice, yes.
I need to stay here.
Okay. And then it's be like a little thing is like, do I have time to go to the bathroom? And it's like, just a second. Yes, you do. It's like they had to check. They had to go to Toronto to see if the puck crossed the line. It's like, yes, okay. But so this was the second thing I saw. It's like, you know, playing off of the don't be an asshole on set. This guy showed up, and again, everyone knows that your day is shot because you don't know what it's going to be. He made his time, and he was told, okay, we're running a little bit late. And he goes, huh? He goes, do you think I'll be out by 7:30? And the guy's like, the assistant director is like, why do you need to be out by 7:30? It's like, well, a friend of mine are doing a 2-person show, and it's a pass the bucket affair. Like we found out afterwards, like, you know, this 2-person show, it's like in this theater that they kind of booked themselves, and they just passed the bucket. Wasn't so he would be it's way less money than he was ever going to make on set doing a commercial, right?
Yes.
And he is getting more and more tense as the time is going, and he's not acting because he wants to get done by 7:30. And I walk by at one point, and he's in this argument with the assistant director who's in charge of timing and everything like that. And this is when I hear the artistic director say, if you don't like it, call your agent. And I was like, oh, fuck, that's Knives Out. That is, when you hear that, that is, well, then
had it.
1-1.
Fuck out.
See if I care. So it was like, so he storms off. The actor storms off because he's and I'm thinking to myself, and then I heard the director say it. It's like, that guy's never working again.
Yeah.
Because that shit gets out.
Yeah.
And I was like,
For
Why?
sure.
It's like, if that happened to me, I'd be like, do we have an understudy? No, then we're canceling the show because I can't guarantee it. So,
Oh my God.
like,
Yeah.
you prepare for that. You prepare all your life for that one thing that you can do so that someone can see me in profile going, oh, yeah, that's pretty good. Like, that's all. Like, that's it. You spend all this time working for it. And then it's like, it was like, um, I can't remember who said this on Twitter. I think it was Twitter I saw it on. It was the post the Chris Rock slap.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And it was a description of, I wish in years to come they make a biopic about Will Smith, who started out, and the storyline is he starts out as a novelty hip hop artist, moves to television, moves to film, and then over time, gradually taking Oscar bait roles here and there, but then still going back and doing some crowd pleasers, and then pushing himself that way, curating his image so that they can show that he has comedy chops and he also has dramatic acting chops. And so these two things can play together. So he's appeasing his fans and still showing the Academy that he has got some strength in him to do these things. Pursuit of Happiness and Ali and these things. And then he finally gets to this role where he is nominated for a Best Actor, the thing that every actor ever wants. And 20 minutes before it's handed to him, he undoes everything. Everything.
Yes.
And that's a fucking movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I remember with oh God, that was shocking.
Right?
That was shocking because I think we're about the same age. We're all like me, you, Will Smith, we're all in the same age. So I remember,
yeah,
parents just don't understand. I remember all of that stuff and just the building that's like, oh wow, he's talented. Like he's a good actor, and just like Men in Black, all of these things, and then the blockbuster action films and Pursuit of Happiness, these dramatic roles. And it was like rooting for him. I'm like, this is amazing. This is fantastic. Like amazing.
Yeah.
And then all of it gone. Just poof. All of it.
As a comic, I watched Chris Rock, and I went, he did it.
Yes.
He took the hit. Yes. He tried to diffuse it. Yes. It wouldn't be diffused. He was like, okay, let's move on. And the nominees are.
Yes.
He rolled with it. He didn't go. He took the hit. He literally took the hit.
He literally did.
Yeah.
Because that could have a different comic. And I'm not saying this as a criticism, but like somebody attacks you.
Yeah.
Your natural instinct is to go after. Like he could, like a different comic up there, a different person up there.
We would be
in a brawl.
We would have been in day 123 of the court case if that comic was Bill Burr. If that's Bill Burr standing there and Will Smith starts approaching, what are you doing, buddy? What are you doing? I don't think you're thinking this through. I don't think you're thinking it through.
But the thing is, I don't think Chris Rock saw it coming. Like nobody saw that coming because it's like, what's he doing? Oh, holy shit! Like
I have since seen black comics talk about this on stage, and apparently, and I don't know this, but apparently the slap is fairly common in certain areas of black culture. I'm not sure if you can speak to it. I don't know.
I've never heard that.
But apparently, like there are some comics that they said they were no stranger to this. Like where someone would say something and they would go, "Damn, that's going to be a slap." And I don't know how true that is. I don't know if that's a thing. But like certainly the black audiences they were performing for went, "Yeah, you're right." So there might be something to it, and it might also have to do with like maybe it's an American black culture thing. Maybe it's very pocketed. Yeah. Maybe it's more Philadelphia or something like it's very sort of something.
Yeah, maybe
to a locale.
Because I've never heard of that, and I wasn't like when I saw it, I wasn't like yeah. It's not something I'm familiar with.
We're gonna get slapped. Yeah, that's.
No, because I can understand the don't make fun of my wife or don't say this about my mom. I
Mhm.
understand that. I
Right.
understand getting upset about that.
Mhm.
But the actual act of getting up and like slapping someone,
Yeah.
it's like you can't just go around slapping people if
Mhm.
they say stuff that you don't like. You
So
know?
you in particular, not just as a comic, but as a black comic, must have been asked your opinion about that, I don't know, 800 times?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, what do you think? It's
Yeah.
like I thought it was gross. I
Mhm.
just thought it was, especially when you watch like he was laughing, and it was when he saw his
Yes.
wife like roll her eyes
Mhm.
that he was like, "Oh, I got to do something."
Right.
You know, because he laughed at it, and I didn't
He
think
did.
what Chris Rock said was. I didn't see anything terrible. He was teasing her, yes,
Yeah.
but I didn't see anything terrible.
See, it was a roast.
Yeah.
It was a roast. Getting
Yeah.
back, it's like, and half of that show is a roast,
Mhm.
right? Like
Yeah,
when you do intro
exactly.
stuff like that, they're like, see, the biggest offense that I had to it was like, really, a G.I. Jane joke?
Yeah. G.I. Jane came out 25 years ago.
What, you couldn't remember Sinead O'Connor's name? Was that blanked?
And the fact that she looked stunning, bald,
Yes.
like
Yes.
gorgeous. She's a beautiful,
Uh-huh.
stunning woman. She looked amazing.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, she rolled her eyes because she's like, I look amazing, like
Yeah.
whatever sort of thing. She looked more annoyed, and the whole like defending my wife's honor.
Mm-hmm.
She was fine. She was fine.
Yeah.
He didn't call her a bitch or anything like
No.
that. He made a GI Jane joke.
Yeah.
She rolled her eyes.
Uh-huh.
That should have been the end of
That
it.
should
But
have
as
been
soon
it.
as he saw that she was just like, that he got to puff up his chest
Mm-hmm.
and do that. Like, I
Right.
thought it was all unnecessary sort of thing. And he
See,
was
if that were,
defending his woman. Like, she
oh,
was
exactly.
fine. She was
Right.
fine. She didn't need defending. She was
Mm-hmm.
okay.
See, my wife was mad not because of the insult thrown to a woman or the reaction. She was just like, "There's no way that you would ever do that for me." I'm like, "Nope." She'd be like, "Yeah, he got you good. You got done by Chris Rock." Ah!
Ooh, burn.
Yeah, Uber. Way to go, Sinbad.
Because I was more concerned with like, now it's going to be open season
Right.
on comics that
Mm-hmm.
somebody in the audience doesn't like
Right.
you or like what you say, and they feel emboldened to attack. Because it happened a couple of weeks later on the
Yes.
stage, a local comedy club stage.
What, in Ottawa?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it happened.
Where, and like with as many details as you can provide,
And
right?
a well-known Canadian headliner
Uh-huh.
got rushed on the stage, and yeah,
We'll talk.
I
We'll
wasn't
talk after.
there. Yeah,
Okay, we'll talk afterwards
we'll
about who it
talk after
was.
the show.
Because
But
I forgot to post it. You ever see one of those things where you go, "Huh, I'll have to post that," and I forgot to.
yeah,
There was a show recently that had as kind of like the two headliners on the show or some festival. It was like Chris Rock and Louis C.K. And it's like, this show is headlining a comic that should never have been slapped and another one who should have.
yes.
You know.
Exactly.
By the way, I love that it's been months since this happened, and we're still talking about
And we're
it.
still talking. It's going on almost a year.
We're still talking about it.
think,
Oh, fuck, it is. It is a year.
it's almost a year.
It's
Yeah.
almost a year. That's
It
right.
was March. It happened in March. And the thing what pissed me off is that I think it was the week before I had written a joke about slapping someone,
Right.
and then the week after the Will Smith thing happened, and I'm like, oh yeah, now everybody thinks I wrote
Yeah.
it post Will Smith, and I
Uh-huh.
wrote it, and I have proof. I have photographic proof
Yes.
that I performed it before.
Yes.
And and it was a funny joke. I've done it, but I'm like, no,
Mhm.
everyone thinks I wrote it post the slap, and I'm
Always
like, I
write
don't
the
like
date
that.
in your notebook.
Yeah.
Always write the date in your notebook. Every time, as soon as I pick it up, it's like that.
Yeah.
Um,
Because I have the proof that I performed this joke on this
Mhm.
date, which was a week or
Yeah.
two before the Oscars.
And it had a G.I. Jane tag in it, which was lovely. Um, did you see that Tucker Carlson has a What's Wrong with Comedy show coming out soon?
No. What
Yeah,
is
it's like
that?
it's like some news piece that he's doing where he's talking to comics how you can't say anything anymore.
Uh,
This trope, and it just shows comic after comic, being yelled at from the stage, like that's the most racist thing I've ever heard, and like comics getting rushes, like, and like I'm thinking to myself, unless Ariel Elias is in there somewhere, this is bullshit.
yeah.
Because I don't think he'll be including one of his viewers throwing a beer can at a woman in his montage. So,
Oh yeah.
I've
That woman handled that so
oh,
well.
I know. I mean,
She's like, but just
I'll
the
tell you.
audacity to, yeah, just to throw something like that.
I don't know. I will say this: if all you gotta do is chuck a drink at me and I drink it, and that's my audition for the Kimmel show, start lobbing Heinekens,
Yeah,
folks.
exactly.
Just grab a fucking steam whistle and chuck it. If you wing me, even better.
Even better. Exactly.
Because then I got a tag.
It's true. It's true. I was like that the woman who was harassing her on stage has no
Mhm.
idea what she did to that woman's career. Like
Yeah.
the boost and she has no
Nothing.
idea. She helped her. Like she
Yes.
actually helped her.
Yes.
Despite her best efforts, and that Ariel was like professional and experienced enough
Mm-hmm.
to deal with it, to deal with
Right.
that nonsense.
And her set on Jimmy Kimmel was fine.
Yes.
It was fine. Did you ever know Nathan McIntosh? Were you around for him?
I met him many, 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 many years ago.
Okay.
And I wasn't doing comedy, but I saw him perform at a club in Toronto.
Good. Okay. Because
I love him.
Yeah, he started doing comedy around the same time that I restarted doing comedy. The reason I bring it up, I just saw him on Fallon last night. He was on the Tonight Show last night.
Yes, I saw.
Did a great job.
I didn't see the clip. I'm going to look it up later.
Fantastic
but I saw
job.
a post that he was doing it. So that's amazing. Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah, he's super funny. I've been a fan of his for a long, long time. Yeah.
I have one question for you. Because I know we're keeping an eye on the time, and we've got the 3 things to do.
Right.
I was just looking at the tags for the Shooting the Breeze Ottawa and STV Ottawa. Are you franchised? Is that why you have to put Ottawa in there, or like?
No, I'm not franchised. It's just that there were so many other Shooting the Breeze.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And like shooting the breeze, I couldn't get.
Right.
So they were like, "Oh, you can do Shooting the Breeze 4527-11." And I'm like, "No, I don't want that."
Right.
So that's why I had to put Ottawa just to make it unique. Yeah.
I think every tag that I put my show notes in should have people wondering if I'm a troll. That's right. As soon as you see a pile of numbers, you just go, fuck
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the reason I have Ottawa in there, because I didn't have the foresight to pick like a better name. Yeah, and to keep it unique and to have something that I could use throughout, like for Twitter, Shooting the Breeze Ottawa was too long. Yeah. It was too long a name. So yeah, that's the only reason.
We have a guy sitting on the Comedy of the Pub TikTok handle, because all of our branding for that is CATP podcast, and some guy took it. And he's got our logo in it. Got the whole thing.
Oh, so he's just being dirty.
He's just being dirty, right? Dirty. And so I go in about once or twice a week, and I report him. It's like he's being me, in the podcast, TikTok thing. And I get the feeling at some point I'm going to realize, oh, I put it under a different email address, and that's actually me. So I don't know, but I like to think it's someone else. And it's like I'm flattered. I'm very flattered that someone is doing this. So hey, I'll use this as an opportunity to drop my handles.
Yes. Where can people find you?
So people can find me like they'd want to at Hey It's TVA on all the things: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. That's all the same. At Hey It's TVA. The podcast is CATP Podcast. That's right, folks. CATP, except for TikTok, as we discussed, because I think that is just spelled out Comedy Above the Pub. And Write 'em Up is at Write 'em Up Show across all the platforms as well. So that's for that one. That's when we send out details about upcoming shows, and as well, we'll take pictures during shows and post those, and we'll do sort of like what we call the fridge, which is like the best roasts that the audience loves. And we call it the fridge because, like, when you were 5, you made like a hand turkey drawing, you put it on the fridge. That's what we do with the thing. So we just like post those on all things. So we post those without context, so it's even better. And then CATP Podcast, that is the podcast one where we post like show updates and stuff. And I just want to take this opportunity to say we've finished our 23rd season. We're currently on a break, and the reason we're on this fairly extended break right now because we started the break in January because I was going on vacation and my producer's work is insane. But we're changing things up a little bit in terms of format, which, in the words of our regular guest Carolyn Bennett, I can't talk about it. So I will say that you're not going to lose anything because normally the script of the show is just like we talk with people and they come on and then they'll promote if they have something to promote, cool, and we'll talk about the project, the book, the album, whatever it is that they're doing, their upcoming shows, whatever it is. We'll talk about it. You're not going to lose that. You're not going to lose if we happen to play who's worked more. You won't lose that. It's focusing on one particular element that we have enjoyed over the course of doing 23 seasons, and we're just bringing that more to the fore. It'll be a little more condensed for you. That is the hope. So I'm not going to say anything else. Regular listeners may already kind of figured out what we're kind of dealing with, but even then I'm thinking, I don't know. So you'll have to see.
You'll have to tune in to find out.
Yes.
Okay. I'll include all that contact information
Cool.
in the show notes here. So we're going to wrap things up. So would you like to participate in my little silly game that I just call it Crazy Questions?
Absolutely not.
No.
Okay.
So we'll do a few.
Yeah.
So you'll pick a number between 1 and 200.
Yes.
249 because I deleted one by accident.
You deleted.
I still haven't replaced it.
Okay.
And then I'll read you the corresponding question.
I love it. Okay. I'm going to start with my favorite number 5. Number 5.
Would you rather live in a country that was too hot all the time or freezing cold all the time?
I do now. Ottawa is that. It's plus 40 in the summer and minus 40 in the winter. The fuck. Everyone says that it's harder in the summer because you can't take off clothing.
Yeah.
You can, but in the winter you can put stuff on. But that said, having kind of been in a couple of kind of tropical paradises, I'll say, we just took a vacation back from Panama. As you can see how bronzen I am. I would probably go with hot.
Oh, really?
Which, by the way, conveniently, that's what we're doing anyway. So I might as well. You know what? Then I'll say cold then for nostalgia's sake, because I won't be able to say that in about 5 years because everything will be melted. It'll be plus 12 in the winter. We'll be raking leaves in February. It's fine. So yeah, I'll say winter. I'll say cold. Yeah. I'll say cold because we aren't going to have it for long. Enjoy it now. So that's it.
Mine is cold. I don't know what happened to my African roots because I do not like the heat at all. I hate the heat. Every year I make the same corny joke, right? Like when it's like plus 40 and humidity, that I have to summon the African in me to deal with the heat, and it's like it never works. I can't.
I don't know.
I like cold. I like it cold. I can't with the.
Okay, but there's cold places in Africa. You know,
Not really.
your people could have been atop Mount Kilimanjaro. Like they could have been
Maybe.
there.
Maybe I was the mountain people. I descend from the
Yes.
mountain people
I was
because
like, get a shawl.
I can't
Cold up
bear
here.
the heat. The heat, I'm miserable in the heat.
I
I
get
can
it.
deal with the cold, because you
Right.
can bundle up and everything,
Yes.
and it hurts and everything, but too hot for me because I'm sweating and it's
Yeah. No,
miserable.
I get it.
Miserable.
I get it.
So it's like team freezing for
Right.
me.
You're hashtag team necessary. I'm
Yeah.
hashtag team nostalgia.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, I hate being too hot. It's like, ugh, it's so comfortable. I don't like it. So let's do another one.
Okay. Let me know when we're down to the last one because I have a specific number I want to pick.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with 112.
112.
112. Mm-hmm.
If you lost one day of your life every
Okay.
time you said a swear word,
Oh
would you
Jesus.
try not to do it?
Fuck no.
I would have been dead like 12 years
In fact,
ago.
oh my
At
God.
least.
Like
I would have been dead in like 1980.
No. My mom's OBGYN would go, you miscarried again. I don't know how this happened. Apparently you've got a foul-mouthed fetus. All it would be, I would never make it out of the womb. That would just
No gestation for you.
I would like it if they had a little odometer so that I could count. So if I knew the day out, then I could go, oh, okay, you know what? Fiddle-dee-dee. Maybe I need to start watching that.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, no, that's it. Like, can you imagine how short your life would be if all you did was put together IKEA furniture? Like, you'd be dead in your teens.
The box arrives. You
The
drop
box
dead.
arrives. Motherfucker! Just 2 Allen keys over your eyes instead of Henny's.
Yeah, the instructions like a shroud.
Yes, exactly. It's just, and the coffin too is just that cartoon guy scratching his head. Gorgeous.
Oh my goodness, that's too funny. Okay, please choose another number.
Another number.
Yes.
I'm gonna go with let's go with number 1. What's the
Number
first?
one?
What's the first one out of the gate? What's the first one that came with?
Okay, number 1. Who is your greatest hero?
My wife.
Good answer.
Even my wife knows that's complete bullshit. She's my best friend on the planet. And she's like, if I said that, she would go, mm-hmm, and then leave. She would.
She's like, okay.
Yeah. Yes. She is a very pasty white Italian. She would turn very quickly into black grandmother immediate. Mm-hmm. And then gone. That would be it. Hero. That word carries a lot of weight.
Because sometimes people interchange admire with hero.
Yes. You see, I find hero just to be like such a grandiose term. One of I would say the first person on my admiration list is my wife because she has done so much in her career, and I'm happy to be her best friend, and she is mine, and like it has been wonderful. Has it been perfect? No. But it's like she is just like right. She's when I think admiration, absolutely, boom. And hero is just like, for me, hero is like, who is that which you look up to, and heroes can change and morph because things will happen. Like, for example, like my hero in comedy for the longest time was Jay Leno, because he was the first comic I ever saw. I saw him at the NAC in Ottawa when I was the age of 16. And that was before he had the Tonight Show. It was before the whole Conan fiasco happened. It was like he was my hero. And then because he was kind of like the guy that you saw him like every second week on Letterman. It was just like he was the guy. And now when I think it was like, well, he's still fun. Like he does the thing. He's got one of my favorite jokes on the planet he's ever done. But like he's not. I would like comedic wise, I would say a hero would be Dana Gould. Who is a comedian, writer, who's just done so much. He has shown that you can be honest and use intellect in jokes and still do stupid stuff. Like he's for me, he's like an all around, fantastic. Like that would be a hero of mine. Arthur Newman of Rangers, another sporting hero. Like it's just,
Yeah.
It's like, what's your favorite meal? Well, which cuisine?
Yeah,
like
that's true. That's
yeah,
true. Because to say of all time is too limiting.
it is,
Yeah,
and it's
way
going to
too
change
limiting.
because
Yes.
for the people who thought Louis C.K. was a great hero, not so much. So, like there are just so many. Like I even think of like Stephen Root. Like he's not a hero, but like he's so great. And like Tony, like I was thinking of like before, like when I was walking the dog today, just before this podcast, I was sitting there thinking, who are the actors that when you see them improve everything that's going on, right? And I throw like Stephen Root in there, Tony Shalhoub, Stanley Tucci, Alan Arkin. Alan Arkin is just you just sit him in a chair and just have him sit in a scene, do nothing, and it's going to improve. And he'll still just go, what? And then that will, it's still better than anything that's going to go in front of him. Like, it's so great. The lads from Devo, like they were the guys that kind of sent me on my path of finding music that wasn't, Bon Jovi. Like that's what happened to me. So yeah, in terms of heroism, like it really just sort of, there's so much admiration out there. It's really hard to peg down like one hero. I don't think you can have one hero. No. Unless you are, equally as single-minded as the hero itself, themselves, right? And if that's the case, well, cool. But like, I think like you, there's a lot of things that we like to do, and there's going to be people who are different, have different strengths within those.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Here, okay, my dad. He was a minister. He cobbled together a life for us. He put 2 kids through university. He battled colon cancer, and he's still alive today. And he still cracks a joke. That's my hero. There we go. Boring answer. Took a while to get there.
That's okay.
You're welcome, Dad. Right. Cut to me, when my dad's calling. Oh, fuck. And then it's not now.
Not now. I'm busy.
Yes.
Okay. So final question.
This was my plan. So you said 249. I want to see what the last question was. When did we give up on this list? I want to know what question went, that's it, we're done. So unless it was unless 250 was the deleted one, in which case.
Yeah, I deleted one.
Okay.
I don't know how.
So the one that's formerly 250, now 249. Let's see how this list ends.
Okay, so 249. If you could choose one song to play every time you walked into a room for the rest of your life, what song would you choose and why?
Well, until I saw that picture, it was Lil Wayne's Uproar. Until I saw that picture, and I was like, I know a fuck of that guy. Okay, I'm tied for two. There's a song by Cake. Called, oh shit, what's the name of it? The chorus of it, and the reason I'm having a problem coming up with it. The chorus is "Shut the fuck up." I think it's called "Comfort Eagle."
Comfort Eagle?
Comfort. No, that's not it. It's completely. Do they just? Oh no, it's called Nuggets. It's called Nuggets. Is the name of the song. So look up the because it has like one of those rattly things, and it's got this nice little bass line. Do 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 do, and then they do some nice little lyrics, and they get to the chorus and go, "Shut the fuck up, right, learn to buck up." It's very nice. And then there's another song. I'm having a horrible time with titles, and there is a song by Soul Coughing called Super Bon Bon, which has one of the best. Again, I'm a slave to bass lines, and it's just like, and it's got this wonderful. It starts out. The first line in the song is "Move aside and let the man go through, let the man go through." And I like think if I was walking into a room, let's step aside, let the man go through, let the man go through. So, yeah, I think one of those two. I think Nugget by Cake, and then that. Despite two Devos, I got two Devos over my shoulder. I'm like, true. Not one of those.
Not one of those.
Okay, fine. Gates of Steel. Okay, Gates of Steel from not this album, but the previous one, and the two before. So yeah, so Gates of Steel if you're holding me to a Devo, but then one of those two. So, and I would demand that they be on a shuffle, and I don't know which one is going to play when I walk in. One of the three. One of those three has to come on. Yes.
That's cool. Yeah. Just have have a selection.
Mm-hmm.
It's like any room, one of these three. Like hit shuffle, and play, and I will walk in.
What's yours? That's a question.
Mine would be by Bill Withers, "Lovely Day."
Oh, beautiful.
Lovely Lovely Day. That song I just feel so. That song makes me feel so peaceful and calm and happy. I love that song. And so that's a song that I don't listen to regularly. It's not like one of the songs that I'm like, I gotta listen to this song every day.
Right.
But when I hear it, I feel good. Instantly feel good. So yeah, "Lovely Day" by Bill Withers.
Whenever I'm at a sports game of some sort, and whenever it's a situation where a particular player will have like walk-on music, like baseball especially, I will always play this joke with whoever I'm with. When now coming to the plate, number 14, Dave Hernandez, and then Dave comes up, and they got boop doo doo doo, or whatever song it is. So I'll turn to my buddy, whoever watches the game with, and I'll go, "What's your walk-on music? You're in his position right now. What song do you say to the DJ? This is what I want playing every time I hit the plate." And I got buddies of mine that are huge into baseball and really think about it. It's like, well, I'm kind of a comic, so I kind of want it funny, and I do this and da-da-da. And then they'll deliberate for an inning and a half about, oh God, like I was like, this isn't a hard question. Like, pick a song. It's like, no, but I really wanted to say something.
I want it to mean something.
I need to mean something. It's like, and then they'll go, okay, I got it. And they'll say like whatever song it is. And I go, because it means this, because my father used to play this for me. And like when we used to play catch, it was this. And I will always have that memory. I go, oh, wow, that's really deep. That's really cool. And then they'll go, what's yours? And I go, don't want no short dick, man. You want peanuts? My favorite joke to play.
The person's like,
what?
I just spent an hour contemplating.
Right. Itsy bitsy teeny weeny itty bitty short dick man. I meant to ask you, so because we got your song and your temperature, we didn't get your hero. Who's your hero?
My hero?
Yes.
I'd say on the personal side would be my parents.
Mm-hmm. I thought you were going to say my dad too. Like, okay.
Yeah, both of my parents.
Ken Van Allen is your hero? Weird.
It's like your dad. Yeah. I'd say both my parents. Just they're both gone, and it wasn't until I was grown that I realized, and also like the last 3 years with just all like the racist shit that's been going on,
right?
Like how much they protected me and my sister from, and like God knows what they had to endure,
right?
To make sure that we were safe. because we
Mhm.
weren't completely safe, but
Right.
yeah, so just having that realization as an adult and
Mhm.
having to deal with like my own,
Yeah.
like just me trying to maneuver through the world as a female comic as of color, and the
Yeah.
abuse that I get on a
Mhm.
daily basis, that to protect your family
Yeah.
like that, and still try to give us like the happiest, like, and not have it wear them down,
Right.
because it's like something like that is very easy to be like, well, fuck the world, and be angry and close in. And they were the
Mhm.
most beautiful, generous, caring people, you know
Awesome.
despite all of that. So
Yeah.
I would say them for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And Jay Leno.
And J-Lo.
Yeah. You couldn't let her have a nice moment, could you, Van Allen? No. No. You knew this going in, Van Allen. This is me doing my own therapy.
Yeah. I do the same. I do the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
I think we all do. I think we all do that to a degree. Well, thank you so much for
Pleasure.
this was delightful. This was amazing. And I thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
taking the time
Thank you.
to
This
talk to
is
me
the
today.
longest hour
Yeah.
podcast we've ever done.
I know.
It
But
is
no, I'd love to have you back another time,
anytime.
because yeah, I think we could delve into so many. We
Yes.
just scratched the surface of the
Yes.
things we could talk about. So I would
Yes.
love to have you. I'd love to have you back.
Yeah. We talked
Another time.
about what it's like being on set and rich people slapping other rich people. That's all we talked about. That's
Exactly.
2 topics.
Yeah, and pandemic
And
comedy,
the pandemic. Okay,
pandemic
so big
comedy.
3
Yeah,
right there. Yes.
3.
Yes.
Exactly. So yeah, we could talk about a whole bunch of other things
Mm-hmm.
another time. So I'd love to have you back
Beautiful. Love to
at
come
some
back.
point. Okay.
And when we get the new podcast going up on my end, you are definitely you are built for the new thing that we're looking
Oh,
for. So yes.
that would be awesome. I'd be
Yes.
honored. Thank
Stay
you.
tuned.
Stay tuned. All right. So thank you again, and thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.